Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, don't forget to like this video and also subscribe to my channel. Okay, this video is about binary search, and the previous video we talked about linear search. Binary search is also used to find the position of an element within an array. One thing about binary search is that it works on only sorted arrays, only sorted. But with linear search, it can work on sorted and unsorted arrays. So let's look at how how to use binary search to find the position of a given element. For example, let's say we have a sorted array. Where's my sorted array of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is our array. This is our array. So binary search. One thing about binary search is that it's also used the divide and conquer approach. That is, it divides a solution into smaller solution and tackle the smaller solutions first. For example, with binary search, it divides this array into two. This array into two. So let's say first half, first half, first half, first half, second half, second half, second half. So it divides it into two and check. Since it's sorted, it check where it's and it uses three elements as a reference. That's the start. Let's see, start, middle, and start, end, middle. Still three variables. These three variables is what binary search use as a reference. So that the variables are indexes of the array. So the start index is always 0 in the beginning, and the end index is always length minus 1, and the middle is start plus end divided by 2. But since the summation of start plus end could lead to an odd number, had to round it down. So we use the floor method. So mod.floor start plus end divided by 2. So we don't, since indexes of an array are all whole numbers, we don't want to have a situation whereby the middle index is a floating point number. That's why we are using the mod.floor with in the calculation of the middle index. So these three variables help us determine the first half and the second half. Binary search also uses the middle index as a reference to determine where the search item. For example, let's say our search item is 4 equals our search item. So it uses the middle variable as a reference to determine the search item. So to determine the first half and the second half, also used to determine the search item. For example, let's say so first what we do is it will check whilst it will be the loop. It can use a while loop or a do while loop. So the first loop will be while coming here. Come on, let me divide here. Okay, so to be while start is less than or equals end. So do something. Check, always check if. So the checking is, we are checking if the middle, this search item, let me clean. Yeah, okay, let me clean here. We already know we are determining. Yeah, okay, so you are checking. So whilst start is less than end, so or whilst the middle value is not equal to the search item, the value at that middle index of the array is not equal to the search item. So you check. Okay, so whilst that is always true, you check if the search item you check if the search item I'm coming if the search item is less than the value at the middle array. Let's say our array middle. the value at the middle index. So this help us determine the half we are going to tackle, or the half you are going to dump. This help us determine the half you are going to tackle and the half is going to dump. So since if the set item is less than the array, you change your end value. You change your end variable. The end variable will be your end variable will be your new end will be middle minus 1. Middle minus 1. If the set item is also greater, if set is greater, your start will be middle plus 1. Your start index. So we just change the start index. So this is what you do. So while this condition is always true, you do this search. So if everything is true, if it's equals to the set is equals to if the set is also if the set is equals to the set item, if the set item equals to the array middle, the value at the middle index, you return the array. Since you return the middle, you return the in. Take note, you are only finding the position. You are only finding the position. You are only returning the position of the value. So if it's equal, so you have three conditions, 3 checks, if statements, if, else, if, and else in the while loop or do while loop. So while this condition is false. So if this condition tends to be false, it means the value cannot be found in the array. You return -1. If the first condition is false, you return -1, signifying that the value cannot be found in the array. So this is the whole thing you are going to implement in code. Let's move to our code editor and try to implement this algorithm, this solution here in code. So guys, let's try and implement the algorithm in code. So we have here our editor. I just created a file called binary.js. Okay, so let's use a function. So constant, let's name our function binary, and our function will take 2 arguments. That's the array and the set item. The array and the set item. And so as we said earlier, we need 3 variables. That's the start, end, and middle. That's the variables we need to divide the array into 2 halves. So let's so our start, we said our start is always 0, since every array indexes start from 0. Counting in programming start from 0, and our end index is array dot length -1. That's the end index, and our middle is always the summation of start plus end divided by 2, and we have to round it down. We use the math.floor. So we use the math.floor, then another bracket, start plus end, and then we divide it by 2 to find a half. That's always our middle index. We don't want any reason why. I hope you know the reason why we are using the math.floor. We don't want any floating point number, any floating point value. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so what we said, we use a while loop. So while start less than or equals end, we do this. We do while this start is less than or equals end. While this condition is true, you keep on looping. You divide and conquer. You get it? While this condition is true, you check. Your first check is if the set item is less than the array middle. That's saying we use binary set uses the middle variable always as a reference. The middle is less than the array the middle. While this set item is less than array the middle, you change the end. Your new end will be, so since the set item is length, your new end will be middle -1. This will be your new end. Then you do another check, else if the set item is greater than array dot middle, you change your start. Start equals to middle plus 1. As we said earlier, we are trying to determine the half we are going to search the half where we can find the variable. So we don't have to search all the elements in the array like linear search. One from one element there will be another check, one iteration, another check. No, this one we check the value. We use the method as a reference to check which part of the array you are going to dump and which part of the array you are going to search. So if the third check is the set item is equals to the array the middle, so this could be an else statement, since if this is not this, so else. So we said the else, we are returning the middle. We return the middle. We return middle. So if this condition, so far as this condition is false, we are always going to return -1, meaning when this condition is false, returning -1, meaning the search item cannot be found in the array. The search item cannot be found in the array. All these things are false. This condition is false. Meaning the search item cannot be found in the array. Okay. So one thing we have to do is, before we do the check, always we have to before the check, we have to calculate our model again. Since let's say for the first iteration, we already have our model, but the model will be the same. So we just have to do model. Copy this code here. This line of code, you just have to write the same thing. Middle equals to math.floor start plus and then divided by 2. We have to do this calculation. We can do this calculation in each of the search and each of the condition, the check condition, but we are going to do it before the check condition, before the check. This is our solution to binary search. So this is our solution. So as you can see from the picture, so first we check if the search item is less than the array. We change our end index to be a middle.-1, meaning we are dumping all the right hand side. We divide it into 2. If the end is greater, the search is less, meaning the search is less than this one, we dump the right hand side. If it's greater, we dump the left hand side and we focus on one side. The right hand side too, we divide it into 2. So we dump one. That's how it is. So let's try and run our code. Let's run our code and see the results we'll get. So let's run our code and see the results we'll get. Why is the printer not working? It should. Okay. I don't know why printer was not working. It should do everything for me. So let me just indent it on my own. Okay, so everything is fine. Okay, so let's where is it? Here we are. So what to do is, so let A equals to binary search. Binary, then we said it takes in a sorted array. Well, one thing you have to know is take care of, put this in our mind, is it's taking a sorted array. It only works with sorted array. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and our set item is 4. Our set item here is 4. So let's console.log A. So we are storing the return value inside the variable A, and we console.log the return value. The return value is the position of the set item in the array. I hope you get it. Okay, so let's save our code. Save and let's run it. Okay, so node binary.js 3. As you can see, it says 3. So let's check again. So 0, indexing start from 0. It's indexing start from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So now let's put in a value that cannot be found in the set item. So let's use 10. Let's save it and run it again. Okay, save it, and now let's run it again. Let's run it again. 10, -1. You see, this says -1. Since the 10 cannot be found in the array, it will output -1. So this means that when this condition, this while start is greater, so it means that this start is greater than the end, so it will return the -1. That's it. That's all what you have to know about binary search. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. Thank you guys.